One of the most common questions that most of the Buddhist people ask from Buddhist monks is that they ask, I did this action, is it a sin? And they say, like, if I did this action, if I do this, will it be a sin? So it turns out that sin is a big concern. People have a big concern about sin. So from today's video, we're going to be discussing about the perspective of sin according to Buddhism. Do and should Buddhists believe in sin? So first of all, before understanding do and should Buddhists believe in sin, we must understand what sin is. The word sin was originated from Old English word sin, which spelled as S-Y-N-N. And it also has the roots of this Old Norse word synd, S-Y-N-D. Collectively, the word sin describes or defines the transgression of the divine law. That means going against divine law. Especially in Christianity and most of the monotheistic religions, sin is often understood as going against the divine commandments, right? There is an all-powerful, almighty, and all-knowing deity and God, and this God makes these commandments and laws, and if someone goes against these, and if someone goes against these laws and break those laws, that person is called a sinner. And the people who commit sins, right, the people who do sins, they will be punished by the Almighty God, right? That is the common framework of sin according to the monotheistic religions. Now let's turn into the Buddhism, the perspective about sin according to Buddhism. Well, in Buddhism, the word sin is not used. There is no any place that Buddha used the word sin, because sin requires an all-powerful, almighty deity, right? As there is no statement of all-powerful, almighty deity, and there is no any involvement of deities, all-powerful deity in Buddhism, the morality according to Buddhism is governed by not by the sin, but by the karma. Karma can be understood as the natural law of cause and effect, right? It is something like gravity. Like if you throw something into air, because there is gravity, it will eventually fall down as a result of throwing that, as a result of the gravity, right? In the same way, the Buddha explains, if you do something with evil intentions and negative intentions like hatred, anger, delusion, and greed, these intentions, right, the actions that were led by these intentions will lead to negative consequences, because in the beginning the cause and the intention was negative. If the cause is negative, then the consequence is negative. And if some actions were led by positive intentions like compassion and kindness and empathy and wisdom, these actions will lead to positive consequences, right? So it's simply like this. If you plant a seed, right, you will get the fruits according to that seed. Let's say you plant a mango seed, you will get mangoes, right? You plant a grape seed, you will get grapes. In the same way, the Buddha says, if you do the things with evil intentions, right, hatred, anger, delusion, the suffering follows that person. And if someone does actions with positive intentions, kindness and compassion, wisdom, then the happiness will follow. So it is simply how the world works, how the universe works. Okay, so the karma is always, we need to understand, karma is not just the action, karma is the intention behind our action. Okay, so according to the law of karma, when a person do certain kind of actions with certain kind of intentions, these kind of actions will lead to the consequences that eventually that person will experience, right? And one of the major differences between sin and karma is that in sin, it requires the forgiveness from a deity, forgiveness from the divine, right? In karma, karma is something that you must work through yourself. And there is no any statement of any concept of being forgiven by a deity in karma, right? Instead, you must take the responsibility of your own actions and you must work through yourself and change your behavior. So that is how we understood the karma. So then you may ask, well, the word sin applies to Buddhism. In the sense of this monotheistic religious meaning, it does not apply. So we need to understand the moral ethic. The morality according to Buddhism is governed by the actions, the intentional actions of each and every individual. So this is the main explanation about the karma and sin according to Buddhism. So I hope you got some light about the sin and the karma. So I wish you all happiness and peacefulness and good health. Namo Buddhaya. What do you do when you want to give your fullest help to someone and you're willing to help someone, right? You're giving your best to help someone and still they don't understand your help. They don't understand the value of your help and they don't understand the consequences of their bad habits, the bad things that they do. What should you do? Well, this is one of the most common questions that I get asked from people. I need to help this person. I care about this person. I want to help that person. I'm giving the best of mine, but still, they're not ready to take that help. They're not growing up. What should I do? Should I help them or should I stop helping them? Well, I'll tell you the Buddha story, right? Buddha had a cousin, and his name was Devadatta. Later, he became a monk. And in the beginning, he did fine. He did good. He was doing good. He did meditations, and he was doing good, right? He became a monk under the Buddha's guidance. And little by little, Buddha became famous. People started to gather around the Buddha. When Devadatta saw this, he became jealous on the Buddha. And he thought, no, I need to become the Buddha, right? I need to take this position. He thought that Buddhahood was a position like a position that was in a company, right? That means like you swap the person and you can go to that position. It was not like that, right? So what happened? He tried everything, right? Devadatta tried everything to hurt the Buddha and harm the Buddha's life and kill the Buddha. But still, Buddha had the compassion in his heart towards Devadatta. And I came across this one part of the sutra that the Buddha says, it's amazing. The Buddha says that if there is anyone that I was thinking about day and night and giving my fullest to help, right, that was Devadatta. I was willing to give my best and I was thinking about him day and night to help this person. This person did not understand the consequences of his evil intentions, right? So Buddha was willing to help, but he did not get the help, right? And do you know when Devadatta learned the lesson? It was in his deathbed. In his deathbed, Devadatta told, I regret about the things that I did in the past towards the Buddha. From now onwards, I go for refuge to the Buddha. But sometimes it is late, right? So we need to understand that for some people to learn lessons in life, it takes some time, right? It takes a long time to learn lessons, right? Sometimes you are giving your fullest help and they don't understand. That is the nature of people, because capacities of people, mental capacities of people, how people view this world is different. Okay, so if you care about someone, right, if you love someone, you need to give your best to help that person, right? You need to be willing to give your best to that person. Sometimes they will not understand it, right? In that case, please do not lose who you are, right? Do not lose your characters, good characters, in the name of helping that person, right? You have to protect yourself. If you only protect yourself, you can help that person, right? First, do not lose who you are, lose your characters, and lose your ethics to help someone. That is the first thing that you have to do. And then the second thing is that you need to understand, for some people to learn lessons in life, it takes time, right? So that you need to wait until that. Until then, you need to practice your compassion and your empathy towards that person. The Buddha said that I have empathy towards Devadatta. So in the same way, if we can have the empathy towards that person, that is the best thing to do. And the third thing is that you need to be willing to help, give your fullest help at any time when they are ready, right? Because sometimes when we give our help, right, we try our best and then we give up. And after some time, the person learns the lesson and they come back to us to get the help. And now we have the ego in our mind. We always keep that past memories in our head and we said, no, I'm not giving you the help. If you truly care about that person, if you truly love someone, you need to be willing to give your help at any time, right? Whether they are in your life or out of your life, whatever the place, whatever the situation, if you truly care about that person's development, right, you need to be willing to help. So this is what we need. First, we need the patience. And then we need to give the time for people to grow and learn, right? Sometimes it works for you. And also we need to be willing to help that person, give the best to that person. And that is what we do in these kind of situations. So I believe that you got some idea about this situation. So I wish you, may all of you be healthy, happy, and may all of you be able to realize the 4 noble truths in this life.